So justice is the foundation of all civilization and all cultural intelligence. When justice ceases, civilization crumbles. Justice is a great deal more than morality and the execution of law. It's also fair play. Justice is the golden rule of fair exchange, and exchange is the basis of life in the universe. From the most elemental particles spinning around to the most complex human situations. Justice is the intelligence of exchange and balance. When balance is maintained, health prevails. This is true of all things from a healthy person to a healthy planet. Now, through practicing balance and fair exchange, you'll develop wisdom in your discourses with life and with others. Your instincts will alert you to the validity of ideas as to whether a project will be fruitful or whether a job is right for you. You'll also know how to determine fairness in wages and pricing. All things return to balance eventually. Being a wise and effective custodian of those balances is a hallmark of justice. There's a special dimension of intelligence in the heart which allows this to happen. Now, Joshua explained that our common practice of competitive pricing, confirmed by a consumer's willingness to pay, doesn't necessarily mean a correct value has been determined. There's a fair price for everything, and that derives its justice from an exact ratio of displacement. How much energy, time, effort, and ability were spent in producing the product and the service. Paying too little and paying too much are equally damaging to the act of exchange, and both will inhibit a return to equilibrium. So in many countries, price haggling is still a way of life. When I traveled in Africa and went to a market, it was considered rude to simply ask a merchant what a product cost, give him the money for it, and leave. This was devoid of human interaction. There was no exchange of discourse. This could mean interchange about the value of a commodity, but not always. I was waiting in line at a customs office in Mali, where at the time, a 3-day visa was all that was allowed for foreign travelers. I witnessed several Western travelers in front of me asking for a visa extension, and they were summarily dismissed. When I approached the counter, I looked for something I might have in common with the official. I simply asked him about his family and did a few minutes of polite conversation. When I got around to requesting a visa exchange, I was granted it, no questions asked. Glenda asked Joshua, "Are we supposed to challenge all prices?" His response is, "Only if you're willing to challenge the low ones as well as the high ones. In other words, you aren't being charged enough." Challenging prices or any other exchange only for your own profit is less than true justice and will weaken the intelligence of your heart. Justice is the principle of fairness and works both ways. In every exchange, love is the elemental energy and willingness which allows it to happen. Stealing, invasion, or trespassing may be brought about with force or deception. There's no true exchange without love. You may think you are exchanging merchandise for money, but what you're really exchanging is love. You're exchanging friendship, rapport, confidence, trust, and values that build justice. When justice is gone, trust is gone. Therefore, when trust is gone, civilization is gone. When I began to see every interaction in life as an exchange of love, it made me more present and engaged, be it paying a check at dinner or requesting customer service on the phone. Life is replete with opportunities for engagement every day, not just with people, but with nature, with the elements. It's always possible to heighten a I-it relationship to a I-thou, or an all-one experience. I do this with trees that I visit every night. I mean, you could just say, "Oh, there's a tree." But I actually, since I take a similar walk each night, I've got to know, in a way, the personality, if you will, of these trees. Each one feels different. Each one has a different energy. And so I have kind of you say, an I-thou relationship with the tree. Or sometimes I don't get out and I live across from a huge mini forest, and I just have an experience being one with all trees, not just trees that I can see out my window, but trees that populate the planet. So this is the gift of innocent perception that children are especially good at. I believe your inner child can be the perfect consultant to help you set aside the trance of adult seriousness and efficiency. We got to do things right on time and to the best in order to engage in a heartfelt exchange with life. Now, Yashua further explained, don't think you're going to disadvantage yourself by practicing justice. Everyone has special advantages in life, according to his or her covenant with the Father. By not pursuing unfair advantages, you're blessed with a greater clarity about your own special opportunities and advantages. Everyone has advantages, and in order to find them, a person has to first surrender their pursuit of unfairness. Now, in self-pity, a person may say, oh, I don't have any advantages. Well, who would have thought Helen Keller, both blind and deaf, had any advantages? It may seem that she had every disadvantage in the world. This is the law of the meek shall inherit the earth. When you forfeit and surrender all pursuit of unfair advantages, you find that you're sitting on a gold mine of advantages that have been given to you. That gold mine can only be found with the innocence of your heart. I mean, these sound wonderful as concepts. Well, let's make these assertions more personal and useful to our conscious mind by looking at handout 2, personal advantages, which we're going to complete in just a minute. So an advantage that is a talent, a resource, or a gift that I have in my life that I've not fully acknowledged or developed is, here you fill in the blank. So I filled in, well, it's my ability to speak from the heart and have the information I need to convey effectively and elegantly without notes or excessive preparation. Because I noticed a colleague of mine who just speaks so eloquently and seems to be drawing from the wisdom of the Akashic records without any effort whatsoever. And I recognize the more I compare myself, or the more I think I'm at a disadvantage to what she can do, well, the more tongue-tied I get. So actually being here with you in this course has loosened that up a lot, because I'm teaching in my regular, corny Midwestern way, and it's fun, and I'm enjoying myself. And I don't have to overly prepare, although I have prepared quite a bit. Okay. So a fear I have about admitting this advantage is, well, I'll be embarrassed and therefore ineffective if I'm not over-prepared. So how I'm willing to integrate this advantage into my life more fully is, well, try speaking more publicly from just bullet points rather than detailed scripts where I've got to say every word. And I've been doing this, and I like it. Okay, so we're just working with one here. We could have done 3 or done any number of these, but if you can get one and do it well, you can apply it to others. So let's take handout 2, personal advantages, and complete the 3 sections instinctively from your heart. Don't overthink, but listen to the wisdom of your core and keep breathing easily as you do it. This will help getting past the fears you've had and feeling more safe in owning the resource which has been given you. So complete the questions on handout 2 now. Again, if you don't have a printed handout, just use a piece of paper or electronic device. Okay, come on back to the group. So let's just, again, take a few minutes and let's hear a couple of shares, a share or two of what value you got from doing exercise 2.
Okay, so One advantage of mine that I have not fully acknowledged is my voice. I'm a singer, professional singer. A fear I have about admitting this advantage is that because I seem to believe it's not as good as other people's voices that can do things that I can't do with mine. I haven't mastered my high belt. I don't have a really good R&B feel. I'm not an R&B singer though, etc., etc. There's all these things, I'm not as versatile, blah, 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 blah. Number 3, how I'm willing to integrate this advantage into my life is owning it more. Because I'm like doing something and I'm going, oh, blah. And so they go, oh, you've got such a beautiful voice. I'm like, really? So
Right.
so owning it more. I was taking lessons from this wonderful guy online because I'm training to teach and I've been doing a bit of that. So I'm going to continue with that and I'm going to learn how to integrate that into my own singing as well. And just to use it more, sing more, record, write more songs and do more teaching and
Beautiful. Beautiful.
etc. I really have a big self-confidence thing around it because in Tokyo, I work with a lot of really good singers and boy, could they sing, We're not talking Whitney Houston here, but boy, they could hit those notes. Right.
Thank
So
you
it's
for
like,
sharing that. You raised your hand.
An advantage that I have in my life that I have not fully acknowledged or developed is how everything in my life comes to me and I don't have to chase anything. So how I just attract things, how my life is relatively, like I put little asterisks, relatively easy and very blessed, and that I don't need to work hard and I just get paid to exist. Um, so I think I've said that since I was probably like 8 years old. I was like, I don't get why I have to work. Like I'm pretty sure where I just get paid to exist. So I think a fear that I have about obviously admitting this advantage to people is that people will think that I'm lazy and just lucky, that they will think that I'm somehow taking something from them and I'm like taking their luck away, and that I don't deserve this life that I have. And how I'm willing to integrate this advantage into my life more fully is that I'm going to continue to inspire and make just how I live my life for me more public and community oriented, and that every one of us is the creator of our own life
Yes.
and our own reality, and that I do deserve this life that I have, and I also deserve to share this way of life to others. So one of my friends the other day, the best compliment I think I've ever gotten in my whole life was, she said that being your friend has shown me how to be myself more and I love who I am. And I was like, that's all I want for anybody, right? It's just loving me enough so you know how to love yourself.
All right. Yeah, no, and I've seen this, and I also know that you've taken under your wing 3 children, and that is the real acid test in life.
That was before. If you want to ask about my unbalance and my fear, that was before.
Right, right, right. Good. Thank you.